Hey brothers and sisters, my name is Captain Meatshield, and welcome to something a little bit different. This is going to be an ongoing series where we're going to be building the Enterprise D. I spotted this subscription service thing with Eagle Moss a little while ago, and I've always wanted to do one of these kind of build your own kind of subscription things. Like, when I was a kid, there was like the dinosaurs one where you got like different bits of skeleton to piece together, and then you got like, you know, kind of a skin thing to go over it as well. And I always loved that sort of stuff, and growing up I wish I could have done even more of those. There have been some over the years that I've wanted to do, and then this one came out and I just couldn't resist. So I thought I'd share the building process with all of you, because I think it's going to be fun, and I wanted an excuse to wear my uniform for a video series. And yeah, we're just going to dive into it, because I recently got issues 1 and 2, which you'll see here, and I'm ready to start building. So I'm going to just go box by box and just kind of be as thorough and in-depth as possible. This is my first attempt at doing something like this, so I apologise if it's a bit ropey, but hopefully it will be, you know, fun to watch this whole thing come together. So the first thing we're going to need are some boxes full of bits. That works. And I've got to figure out where I need to start. So for stage 1 and 2 of this process, we're going to be building ourselves the upper decks of the saucer section, including the bridge. That's got the screwdriver in that we're going to very sorely need. And then we get half of one of the nacelles. So I'm going to pull this box apart, because this is stage 1. And we'll get all the pieces out and we can start looking at putting things together. So here we go. This is stage 1. Stage 1 assembly begins. So we need to take some of this stuff. First off, I'm gonna need my screwdriver, and all of these wires can go out somewhere as well, because one thing that's going to be absolutely fantastic about this is it all lights up, and it's going to come with like LEDs for bloody everything, and you are just going to be a pain in the arse to get out, aren't you? Come here. I think that's what I need to start with. Yes. So we've got our first little bit of bridge module. Camera does not want to focus on that. Kind of does. There we are. Our bridge module just slots into the top of this, like so. We've got to put some screws in underneath so that we can secure the whole thing. I was under the impression that this whole thing was going to be die cast. Some of the larger pieces are, but this bit seems to be plastic, so I mean, that's not a problem. I was just expecting different. And AP screws, I need those. I don't know what AP stands for. Appalling potential. That's me and the project that I come up with. Fuck, I've lost that screw. No, found it. Okay. These screws are decidedly awkward to try and get in, which I suppose is good, because that helps with, it probably lends well to the fact that they're not going to come out particularly easy. But that's like deck 1 and 2 done, essentially. So the bridge module is in. Now I need to take some of the wiring. I need to get that in place. So I need to find the correct one. Apparently it's marked with a C. Come on, out. There we go. And then, yeah, this end, with the actual bulbs on it, needs to go somewhere in around here. So this needs to split. It needs to go one end for the back, and then one end for the front. So, back of the bridge, like so, I believe. And then I need to find the window plate for it, which I think is this one. I think that connects in like so. Getting slightly awkward with the No, it's because I hadn't got the rest of it in. But alright, there we go. That's essentially all sorted there. Come on, camera. You want to focus. There we are. So, windows all in. Once that LED gets some light, or gets some power, we'll have light. And then we repeat the process on the other side so that we've got windows all around this section. Very nice. The next step we've got is this, which is, according to the instructions, it's called the bridge bottom. I'm trying to think which member of the crew that would have been, but this has to go through the center, and then we can get that connected in. Hopefully it sits nicely. Yes, just got to click in the place a little so it sits quite nicely like that. There you go. And a couple of screws later, and that is all settled in nicely. Okay, so our next piece here, that is definitely die-cast metal. Can probably hear the sort of sound you get from the texture. It does feel really nice, and it's got a fair bit of weight to it, so oh boy, this is gonna weigh an absolute ton by the time I'm finished. Okay, I need to find a couple of pieces that need to go on the underside, because we've got to put, I think, lights in this section. So let me find those. I think this might be the piece I need. Let me check. It's got a big R written on it, so that kind of indicates that I'm doing the right thing. Okay, so a slight problem with this one. They've marked these incorrectly. Because the one that's meant to go in this side is clear. I was wondering why it needed to have lights under it, because that's completely black and solid. So they need to go this way round. So you've got the clear one marked left, where it says it is meant to be the one marked right. So yeah, that's just a small oversight, I guess. But then we need to take some lights. The B ones? Yes. And I think that's as in as I can get it. So I need a different type of screw for this one. I hope I don't lose all my parts. Oh, the lights fell out. Okay, that took far longer than it needed to, but it's in. Right, we've got one set of windows done. The other side just needs its little back plate. And then a screw to secure it. Okay, that one took a little while to get in. I think the screw might have awkwardly threaded in, but it's in place, it's not moving, so we're good there. Our next piece is the front window for this deck. So that's going to sit in nicely like that. Looks pretty good. And for this we're going to need our last wire with the lights. I'm wondering where the other half of this one's meant to go, because there's still a bulb on this and I don't know where it's meant to go. Yeah, that's quite strange. We haven't got a use for this other bulb at the moment. I have a feeling that may come into play later on, but for now I'm not 100% sure. Either way, we need to get this one in place and secure it. So that needs to go here with a bulb in on each side. Okay, I don't think anything's budging from that. It's in as tightly as I can get it, and it's looking nice. I can't wait to actually get around to testing all the lights on this. I think it's going to look fantastic. But oh boy, some of these screws are a real pain in the neck. But now we need to take this, which, according to this, is the upper sensor platform. And that slots in here. Need to secure that with some more of the screws, and then we can finish assembling the rest of it. Okay, that one went in nice and easily. I think next up, we're going to fix in the bridge module, which will feed the cable through here. And then that's going to sit in like so. Oh, that fits in nice and snug. I'm going to say that really is a nice fit. Oh, look at that. I know we're nowhere near the end, but it already feels like it's starting to come together. Oh, yes. Just taking a moment to sort out all of my spare screws, all of my leftovers. It's nice that they have included those, because these things are tiny and they have a habit of pinging off into the distance. But, I mean, that's par for the course with pretty much anything modelling and construction based. You're always going to have bits that are going to fly off and never be seen again until you either step on them or the Hoover finds them. It's always the way it goes, every single time. Right, now these screws still spin. They're not quite, they don't feel like they've gone in tight enough for my liking, but I don't seem to be able to get them in any further. But that will almost complete our first couple of decks. Now we've got to put in all these escape pod hatches, so we get these off the sprue and we'll finish this first section up. Okay, one thing I will say with the, I was concerned that I might need, some kind of clippers or, a good crafting knife or something for dealing with the plastic parts, but these snapped off the sprue as clean as you could want. They really came off nicely, so that's a nice feature. Now I've just got to find the right spots for the right pieces. Ah, they've all got letters on the back. I think that's meant to indicate which side they go on. Though I'm not entirely sure. I think I'm putting them on upside down. That might be the problem. Yeah, that's how we do it. Taken a little bit of effort to get them to sit flush with the rest of the saucer so far, but stage 1 assembly is now complete. We can move on to the next bit. So now we get to start building one of the warp nacelles. It's not the entire thing, but we get to make a start, and that's the important part. So we need the top part of the nacelle. Whoa, wow, that's actually got quite a bit of weight on it. That is a lot heavier than I was expecting it to be. But again, die cast, so yeah, kind of par for the course really. And we need the EM field projector for the Bussard collectors. That is this bit. And I think you're meant to go in here. Yes, you slot in rather nicely just in the front. There's a little wedge built into the plastic that fits in quite nicely just like that. Then we have this tiny little piece of blue plastic that needs to sit in the end just down here, if I can get it in correctly. Oh, it's a formation light that sits on the back of the nacelle, so that's going to flash, I'm assuming, and light up once we plug some wires into it. Then we need another lump of clear plastic to just sit in, hopefully correctly, into this part of the... yeah, there we go. I had it right the first way around. It's like USB cables. Oh my god. Okay. That doesn't sit quite secure as you'd like it to be, but the next stage is to put in the frame for the rest of the nacelle. So, need to make sure that I've got this the correct way up. I believe it's like so. No, that is not. So, you've got, you'll see on here, you've got this frame here. That bit wants to sit essentially towards the centre, nope, the underside of the nacelle. And that will press down and hold all the bits that we put in so far in place. Very nice. One thing I do kind of like, the screwdriver I think is magnetic. So it's made just getting some of these screws in really quite easy, because otherwise they'd be a pain in the and a fair amount of screwing later. We've got this part of the assembly done. Brilliant. Next we need to take the front of the nacelle and slot that on just like so. So it's going to start taking shape and looking like something we all know and recognise. Now I need to find the correct screws for that. Now we have the end of the nacelle nicely attached. According to the guide, or the instructions, the actual front of the nacelle, the Bussard collector, is not going to be needed just yet. Presumably that's going to be when we get the second half of the nacelle, but that's already looking really cool. But we need to put the actual warp grill around the edge. So let's get these long strips and figure out which side they need to go on, because they all need to be screwed in place. Now, I do wonder if this is the sort of thing that Starfleet captains would have done in their downtime. You know, if there were, you know, kind of like model kits of their own ships that they could go and get. And I wonder which Starfleet captains would have had the patience for them. Because they all had their own sort of hobbies and interests over the years. You know, Picard used to like ships in bottles. So I can imagine he would have done something like this. You know, O'Brien built his model of the Alamo. He'd be all over this shit. But then he's an engineer, so he likes making stuff. Likes crafting. I like doing that too. So we've got one more piece left to do, and that's another part of the warp field grill, which has to sit in here on the back. That fits in quite nicely. And that is as far as we can get with this first issue. So let's have a look at what we've done. So stages 1 and 2 are now complete. We've got the top two couple of decks for the saucer section and one half of a warp nacelle. I'm really excited to be doing this. I'm really having a lot of fun already. It is fiddly and awkward and constructive and creative, and I just love it. This is the sort of thing that I used to love doing as a kid. I used to love model kits, and you know, getting to craft stuff. Getting to craft stuff has always been something that I really enjoy doing. Like Lego has been such a massive part of my life, and getting to do something like this is just phenomenal. So I'm already having loads of fun, and I'm only just through issue 1. I think I'm going to handle these an issue at a time, because this recording has gone on for about an hour now. I think it'll be, you know, a relatively good way to kind of break things up, but hopefully it means I should be able to get videos out on this stuff a little more regularly. I'm going to be getting like kind of shipments in of, you know, new issues and stuff every month, I think it is, and I think it's a couple of issues a month. So sit tight, we will be back for more of this very, very soon. I'm looking forward to seeing this thing slowly grow and come together. I'm really excited to see this thing, and I hope you guys are going to enjoy the journey, because I'm going to be having loads of fun. But I will just wrap this video up here. If you're new here, do check out the playlist on the channel for Let's Plays, metal covers, and weird other stuff. There's lots of Trek stuff, so if you're a Trekkie, then, you know, hopefully you'll find something you enjoy. But this is something that's kind of new for the channel. And yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more of it. But yeah, check out the playlist on the channel for more stuff, and give this video a like or a comment just to leave your thoughts. And if you wish to join the ever-growing ranks of the Order of the Shield, do subscribe to the channel, or maybe even consider checking out my Patreon and becoming an officer within the ranks. But thank you again for watching this video, and I'll catch you all very, very soon. This is Captain Meatshield, signing off.